right, we're live.
Yes, we are.
This is Eucalyptus, meeting number 2. May 13th.
So, Nicole, you had a question?
So in Kentucky, through your health department, your uninsured and underinsured low-income screening program, is it a specific program? Like in Tennessee, we have the breast and cervical program is what it's called. Is that what it is in Kentucky? Okay.
Yes. It is the same. So, funding has been cut from a federal level, and then also our governor is not supportive of the breast and cervical cancer programs either.
So if we write a letter, who would we write the letter to? Somebody on the federal level?
She suggested federal when I discussed it in the BBB.
Right, I saw that. Hey, Jenkins.
Hello.
Hey.
We are live, just so you know.
Okay. I won't cuss.
Okay. That's exactly why I said it. No, I'm kidding.
You know her well.
From my one meeting with her.
But since, we don't have state support from our governor either, I think we could really approach it either way. So
I think maybe the governor, since you said the funding, he's not supportive of the funding. He's obviously never had anyone in his family touched by breast cancer.
Right. So in January 2018, he had 70 proposed funding cuts, and one of them was the breast and cervical cancer programs.
So he proposed the cut.
We already had a federal cut, and then he proposed further cuts in 2018.
Oh my goodness. Well, we can't hear you, Mari.
That sounds like a good person to write to.
To the governor, start with him.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
He sounds like a good person to write to if there was federal funding cuts and then he further defunded in your state. It sounds like a good person to write to because it sounds like, if it was somebody that was in support of it, like a letter wouldn't have as much potential to make changes and weight as somebody that apparently sees that this is something that we can just defund.
So we're going to write to the governor? Is that what you said? Sorry.
Yes, that's what she was saying.
Okay, I'm just going to make notes. Did you guys all get the Google Docs that I made?
Yes, I was editing the letter one earlier.
Thank you.
Well, I just added like a few, just a thing here and there, and I put everyone's name at the end, but I didn't know what everyone's credentials were. So if you don't care to put your own credentials in, I wasn't for sure.
Julie, did you mention something about the American Cancer Society or something like that had a fact sheet that you wanted to share maybe on the drive or a link to it or something that you had come across? I
just know that there are several out there that have statistics as far as like how many people are affected and things like that we could. I haven't found one specifically Kentucky, but other states, and we have the statistics that we could incorporate ours and make that specific for us.
Okay, I'll work on that some tomorrow and Friday so that you guys will have.
You want to work on the fact sheet?
Yeah, I think so. I'm off tomorrow, so I have some time to work on that tomorrow.
Where do you guys want to send the fact sheet to? I know, Julie, you talked about giving it to the breast cancer support groups, and I think that's a great idea. That one, and then maybe some kind of local state support groups. Like I know Florida has a breast cancer association in Florida. Is there one for Kentucky we can use?
There's the Kentucky Cancer Program.
That includes breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you guys agree with those two audiences?
I'm okay with, that just came to my mind when we were discussing it, so I'm open to any options. I'm okay with wherever you all feel like it would be most effective.
Is there some kind of like health department that we could get it sent to, or some kind of place that women frequent?
We can send it to all health departments in the state. I have a contact who's over the cancer program for the health department, specifically breast and cervical cancer. So she could disseminate it to all health departments if you all want to do that.
I mean, I think we could do a generic one, and that can go to all of them.
Okay.
Oh, what I really liked from the BBB, Julie, that you attended, is that she talked about like personal stories for the fact sheet. I think that would be great, and that probably could tug at people's heartstrings and things like that, like a story. Does anyone know of anyone who was caught early, maybe in their cancer through a screening, or wasn't caught early, that we can write a little story about it?
I mean, I have a coworker, and her wife recently just had a double mastectomy, so I can get in contact with her and see kind of a little bit more in detail what her story was, and see if it was be something that's applicable. And I can let you guys know tomorrow. I can get in touch with her.
Yeah, if you want to write on that Google Doc, we can all see it, what you write on there.
And if that doesn't work, I have 2 people at work that have had breast cancer, one recently and one just a few years ago.
Wow.
So the most recent one, she's 41, and it was not time for her yearly mammogram, but she found a lump because she'd already had it, and it was that fast growing, and she had to have a double mastectomy. So
wow. I think that we could put a picture too. That's what they talked about. Maybe one of these people wouldn't mind to put their picture on there, or their family, or something like that.
I created a poster for our clinic with their pictures that had like the faces of breast cancer and when they were diagnosed and what stage, and that they survived from early detection. So we could use that.
That's a good idea. We could put that on the. So Mari, they said that we could do the fact sheet on front and back. So we could do like a story on one side with some pictures, and then maybe some facts on one side. What do you think?
Okay, let me get in touch with my friend Trish. I mean, she's been very open about it with people at work, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to have their story shared. But I'm not sure if it like exactly how they found the breast cancer. So let me just get in touch with her and see what she says.
Okay.
And if not, then I have a patient that we found through the breast and cancer screening program.
Wow. So we have lots of stories. Cool. What do you guys think about the audiovisual? That's one kind of intimidates me.
Did it say we could do like a narrated PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Create a narrated slide presentation regarding your health policy issue that can be used to inform public or change public opinion.
I think that might be a good option because then we could record it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that idea.
Is it the one that I remember doing something like this recorded back in the beginning of FNU schooling, where you click on each slide and it plays? But I don't really know how to do the whole like rolling.
You don't have to do that. You can just pull your presentation up and whoever is going to share the screen, and then you just talk as it, and then you just click to present to the next slide.
Oh, and just record over it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds good.
And that way, if we mess up, we can always start over.
What do you guys think about what would we put on there? And who would we give it to?
Do you have, to me, that would be someone, not necessarily the governor, but I know you said you had a friend at the health department that could distribute. That might be something that we could send to them to say, here's why we think it's important that you hand out these fact sheets.
Right. And use that to support our cause.
Mm-hmm. or if there's a large OBGYN practice, something along those lines. They're usually pretty good about doing the mammographies because that's their area.
Yeah.
I know social media is like a massive way to disseminate information these days. Is there some way that we could figure out a way that this could get disseminated either by Facebook or something like that, or posted on YouTube and shared or something?
Yeah, because we don't actually have to do it, but we can propose an idea. Like it could go, I'm sure there are Facebook pages for breast cancer survivor groups and things like that, where we can rally the family members to write to the governor to, you know.
I feel like if we did something, even like a short, I mean, it's supposed to be audio visual, right? So like even a short YouTube video, maybe with pictures of survivors, or like include this story that we're trying to get or something like that. Something, and I'm using YouTube as an example because it's easy access for all people, and it can be shared along multiple different platforms. And I feel like it's fairly easy to use and isn't difficult to use.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea because then it is easy to share on social media.
Most of the health departments have Facebook also, so all they would have to do is post the link. I mean, we can do that for our offices and that type of thing as well. You know, the more people sharing it, the better. So.
Okay. I like it. Does anyone have should we split up our work and decide who wants to work on what, or what teams, or how? What do you think?
I think we're all supposed to kind of contribute to everything. I don't think she wanted it split up.
Okay.
So we need to.
Well, and I like the Google Docs idea, because then we can all kind of go put facts in, and have all of, just bullet points where we can put our ideas in and either put our name behind it or a different color. It doesn't really matter. That way we don't accidentally end up with two separate facts, two different numbers on the same fact.
Yeah.
In different areas.
And we can come together again in a meeting and review what do we want to keep, how do we refine it.
Sure, that sounds good.
Because I like it also, you can put the comment out to the side, well, okay, maybe if we word it this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of it depends on each one of our specific level of exhaustion at the time we're working on this, whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
I did discover that apparently I am not the person to do any kind of APA work through this paper, so I would like to just offer to use my other skills, because I don't want us to fail. I got an insufficient rating on that paper.
Oh.
And I really, it was all about the references. Like, all the rest of the stuff was correct, but apparently the references
Oh no.
were so bad that I got insufficient on the entire paper.
Oh. Did you get to redo it?
I really didn't think, huh?
Do you get to redo it?
I don't want to redo it. I got an A, so I mean, I don't want to redo it.
Oh, well, if you got an A, then.
Well, apparently my strengths are just not APA, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Somebody else, please do that.
Sure, I hate APA too, but we'll work it out.
Well, if we're using some of the references that I already have, we may be good with some of it. So.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like your thinking, Jenkins.
Do you have some good, in some of your research that you've done, some good graphs, like for a visual representation of, if not, I can start looking for those.
I'm going to share my screen for a second, I think. Can you all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The beginning. This is my PowerPoint for dissemination. And I realize that it has Hart County rates because that's my county that I'm in. But I do have diagnosis rate, mortality rate, screening mammography rates, those types of things. And I already have the references there if you all want something like that.
don't know about.
No, Julie, where did it go?
Oh, I took it away. You want to see it again?
Oh, I thought you were going through the PowerPoint.
Well, I can do that if you all want to hear my
watching, like, oh. Maybe you could put some of those statistics on some of those Google Docs and we can work on it. I was thinking it would be, I know that we're not supposed to split up the work, and tell me if this is wrong. I'm totally open to it. But if like we would have a major area of focus, like someone who is in charge of trying to finish up like final edits, like someone's in charge of final edits of the letter, someone's in charge of final edits of the YouTube video, someone's in charge of the other one. I know there's 5 of us, so we can give probably the the letter is probably the easiest one. So probably one person could work on that, and then maybe 2 on the other 2, just so that we can know what we're focusing on. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's good.
Okay.
I can start on the letter, and that way get in there, and then that way everybody else can look at it. And
do you all want me to share my Squire paper and my PowerPoint with you, just so you kind of have that information as well, because it's a little bit has more statistics and things in it that might be appropriate.
Yeah, share
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
That would be good. I was going to ask you for that. That would be really good.
Is there anything else you all can think of that we might need at this point to add, just contextually, what we need to be addressing?
So we addressed what we want on the fact sheet and who it's going to. We addressed who the audiovisual is going to, but I just have some more questions about what we want to put on it. So do we want to make it like more of like an emotional appeal to put on a link on the health department website, link or their Facebook website, whatever, that they can click on and look at it to address the governor? Or is it like what would be the point, the purpose of our?
I feel like people aren't really gonna watch something that's just a bunch of facts. Like, I feel like you should rein them in with like a personal story or like some kind of shocking statistic of like something that like gets the interest, and then weave in the information after that, and then maybe like go back to whatever it was that you drew people in with. So if you start out with a story, I would start out with a story and tell like maybe like the most gut-wrenching part of the story, then weave in facts about what it is nationwide and why it's important and stuff like that, and then go back to like how it resolved and why it was a good thing that they got screening or something like that at the end.
Why we want the support.
I like it. Yeah. We could even put on there how they can contact their governor. We can have a link to or tell them that there's a link below, whatever, to click if they want to send a letter or make a phone call or something.
Okay.
we could also, if we want to do that, I don't know if we want to like tell the story or if we could hire actors to play the part.
If we get a real person, I feel like we should do it with pictures and maybe do like a voiceover.
Okay.
So like a picture montage of like a family, like depending on what types of pictures they're willing to share. Like, if we can't get somebody that's willing to share like post-surgery pictures or like them in the hospital or something, because I feel like those are always like very, very emotional. Maybe like like a Google image search of something like what a breast looks like after, a mastectomy has happened or something, like something that would be like, I don't want to like use like shock value, but something that's emotional and like continues to keep people like watching and stuff like that.
Got to get their attention.
Yeah.
And maybe if they had a child that was of the age where they could tell how they were impacted by their mother's diagnosis.
That's
So actually, that's why I'm really interested in. I'm very hopeful that Trish will be willing to share her story with her wife, because they taught her son how to like empty the JP drains.
Wow.
And she actually has pictures of him like emptying the JP drains, and he actually that it's very interesting that he did that because he actually fractured both of his elbows like a week before the mom's surgery. So he was like, also, there was like a lot going on,
Wow.
not just the breast cancer. And so I feel like it would be a very like emotional story. So I'm hopeful that they're willing to share.
Yeah, she could even say, like, you could even interview her and have like a little clip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a camera and things like that. We can do it very high quality. If they're willing to do that, I'm happy to like get together with them. I've sent her a message, so we'll see if she says yes or not.
Okay.
Great.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I'm just taking notes on the little Google Docs.
That's good. I make myself notes and then I can't find the notes I made for myself. So
Yeah.
So just looking at the rubric, the letter requires that we clearly and explicitly articulate the issue, position, and evidence, and ask for action. And the same thing with the fact sheet.
Yeah, and we kind of already started with that in the letter. I just haven't. I basically, who said that they want to work on the letters a lot?
me, I will.
Oh yeah. So Nicole, I got a lot of these statistics from Julie's paper. So when we're trying to quote that, and she said we don't have to quote an APA, but we do have to put references on the bottom. The other thing she said that I thought was interesting for the fact sheet and audiovisual, she said she doesn't necessarily want us to use scholarly articles because people don't necessarily believe that. We need to use like some kind of statistics that people believe, like the CDC or
Susan G. Komen.
Yeah, Susan G. Komen, something like that, that people know about, and so they're more willing to believe it.
Okay.
And our audio visual only has to be 3 to 6 minutes. It also says make an argument, draw your analysis of health issue using data, give background, ask for an action, and use what you learned about persuasion, cite your sources. So it's super short, like 3 minutes. We could just, we don't have to spend, way too much time on this.
And I know that she said that about the references, but in the rubric it says use a standardized format like APA or another style for reference list and citations.
Oh. I wonder if that's one of those assignments she inherited. She said she inherited it from the other.
Yeah.
So maybe she didn't change it in the rubric yet. But let's go by the rubric, yeah, so that we don't get in trouble.
Yeah. So that's 1.5 points. It's just following the APA. So.
Okay. Good call. I didn't see that, but I just remember her saying that.
But otherwise, it's fairly straightforward as far as what we're doing for each thing. It includes all of the same things, just a different format.
Right. Here's a cool little fact sheet. So if you guys are you on the can you open the Google Docs? Mm-hmm. The fact sheet ideas, the very last one in number 3 is improving access to maternity care. Like, it's not super fancy.
No, and that's why I was wondering, I think the one I was looking at. I like the graphic at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's something visual they can glance at without having to read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too.
So I'm sure we can find something along those lines.
Yeah.
Maybe even just a big one for the nation or a small one for Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe let's just focus on Kentucky, make it easier.
I agree.
Julie, are you planning on using this? to actually send a letter to the governor and things like that?
I would love to, because I don't like our governor. Just
Okay.
saying.
Well, maybe this could start something. That would be kind of cool.
So CDC has the U.S. map with breast cancer rates, which might be, it kind of shows where Kentucky is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's an old one though. Let me see if I can find.
I'm looking for it too. Maybe the health department of Kentucky's health department would have it.
Good luck with that.
Oh, really? I know Florida has all kinds of those things. I remember doing my first project. Remember that big project? Did you guys all do your master's at Frontier?
Mm-hmm.
In that one that we had to do like a community analysis?
Yes.
So I found a lot of stuff for that.
Well, I just say that because, they don't have a whole lot of funding. So one of the districts where I used to work is not doing any breast and cervical cancer screening anymore. They're referring everyone to another provider.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Awful. Yeah, you guys really need some help. And what did you say? The rates are like 7.5% higher than the rest of the nation?
7.3%. Well, yeah, for Kentucky to national. Yes. Sorry. I have also Hart County in my brain.
Yeah.
I found a 2011 invasive cancer for Kentucky, but it doesn't say which cancer. All the CDC ones I'm finding are a little bit older. And maybe that's what we have to go with. But
what did you say?
the CDC maps that I'm finding are a little bit older.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay. Oh, there's an interactive map on CDC. I can send it to you guys so you can like scroll over Kentucky. Yep. $2015 is the latest.
And I found a fact sheet on Susan G. Coleman.
Oh,
I was just looking at it. Yeah.
will you send it to the
I will. I'm gonna
put it in the
put the link on there. Or we put it on the fact sheet. Yes.
I'll put my link on there too. So Kentucky is 126.8 per 10,000 women.
I wonder why it's so different, like by state, because like there are a lot of states that are like essentially very similar, like, so like Texas and Georgia, you would say that those are both like southern states and things like that, but their rates are totally different. I wonder why that is. Because it's reported rates of cancer, so it can't just be screening.
Right.
And you would think that like the diets would be essentially the same. I don't think people are excessively more healthy in Texas than they are in like Georgia,
Yeah.
That could be environment or access to care or.
Right.
And it may just be that they die from other causes and it's a misdiagnosis altogether.
Or maybe it's underreported because there's less screening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or health beliefs.
Yeah, they just don't go to the doctors at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said we needed like a certain amount of time recorded, but do you feel like, I mean, do we have to do a certain amount per time? I'm a little.
Nicole found
I'm-
that it has to be an hour, but I wonder if it has to be an hour total, if we could do 30 minutes now and 30 minutes another time.
Yeah,
It says, oh, this is on the team discussion policy packet instructions. The second bullet point. To earn full credit for the discussion about the content of this topic, you must be present for at least total of an hour and you must participate in the discussion. It doesn't say.
Total of an hour, so we could have 2 hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like right now, I mean, we may have some like fine tuning, tweaking. If you guys have any other things you want to say specifically about the fact sheet, but I think that we're.
I think we just need to work on it and then come back again and kind of review and everybody be on the same page and in agreement. And we're also working, you know, on the shared Google Docs and with the discussion board as well, so those things count.
Yeah, let's start talking on the discussion board too, and then I think that's good, and we can come back next Monday. What do you guys think? Is that a good day for everyone?
Let me check my calendar real fast.
I almost feel like we need to have like most of it done by next Monday because
I agree.
Yeah, I'm open next Monday, and then I'm off like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So if there's like some sprucing in a particular area that you feel like, hey, I don't have time to do this, can somebody do this? Like, just let me know, because I'm off those 3 days. So
okay.
And that way we can each go look at these docs and the comments we've got in there and discuss them so we can kind of finalize it.
I agree.
Yeah, we need to start also, I guess, a PowerPoint for the audiovisual and start putting some pictures. So I guess, Mara, as soon as you know what your friends say, then we can start kind of going from there.
Yeah, if I don't hear from her tonight, I'll probably try to call her tomorrow.
Okay.
And like get like a yes or no, so that if not, we can like start following up with somebody else.
Yeah, that way we can either record like a brief thing that we can just insert into the PowerPoint or something like that. I get some pictures. Julie, you have pictures already, right?
Yes, I'll just go ahead and share it with you all, and then
Sure.
we have it. If we don't use it, that's fine. But
okay. Yeah. All right.
so are we going to meet on the 20th at 8 Eastern time again?
Yep. And hopefully we'll have most of it done, and then just some last minute things. Because it will be due that Sunday, the 26th. Is that right?
Yes. And then we can determine our next meetings for our next assignment after that.
Yeah. I mean, we might need to meet one more time before we submit, or do you guys think that will be pretty much done by the 20th?
No, I mean, I'm open to whatever we need to do once we kind of reevaluate them.
I mean, we could set the meeting next Monday, or we could pick it now. That way we can kind of plan. It's up to you. I'm open to either.
Yeah, me too. I'm open either way.
So do you want to schedule one at the end of the week also, just so that we have another time, and if we don't need it, cancel?
Yeah.
I think that's probably good.
Okay.
How about Friday at 8 p.m.? It's Friday night. Maybe hard for people. Maybe Thursday at 8 p.m.?
I work until 9 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
I could do Friday.
Julie, that's not going to mess with your presentation, correct?
Well, I present this Friday.
Okay, so you'll be done then.
Yeah.
Or we could do like Saturday morning. Like
Saturday morning would be my preference.
The 25th.
If we could,
Jenkins was trying to say something, but she's muted, so I can't hear her. But she's making a face.
I work on Saturday the 25th as well, so.
Oh, okay. So that's not going to work.
Well, we don't have to.
I don't have to be there.
I mean, if we're meeting or recording next Monday again,
We might be okay.
And then if there's something y'all need to meet and finalize.
Yeah, we can decide that later. But we just need to be like, just a reminder, everyone needs to be active on the group chat so that people get credit for this. I don't want anyone not to get credit for it.
You mean like our eucalyptus discussion on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I posted to that something today.
Okay, good. Yeah. So we can all get credit.
Jenkins, did you have anything to say with your face that you made?
Are you okay, Jenkins?
I think she wants to go home and go to bed.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
what that means.
I'm sorry. Tired, but yeah. No, I'm good. Yeah.
Is midwifery all you ever dreamed of it to be?
Oh, and more.
All right. Well, I think it's going to be good. I think once everyone puts their input in there and we give it some time, I know that Julie's in a time crunch this week. So our prayers are with you for your assignment and for all you mamas and all the stuff that's going on. I know it's a lot, but
Yeah, good luck, Julie.
Thank you. Y'all are welcome to attend if you want to see massive failure on Friday. So.
It's not going to be a failure.
It is not going to be a failure, girl. Bye. I can't with you. It'll be fabulous.
Have you failed at anything before? Probably not.
All of my life.
You are freaking getting your doctorate. How is that a failure?
Well,
I was so shocked at my grade on the paper. Like, I really thought I was going to have to redo it. So I'm happy that I don't.
No, thank God.
Me too. I was kind of surprised. So.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that the thing that I did the worst on was APA formatting out of all of that. Like, I really was shocked by that.
Yeah, they're hardcore. It's hardcore APA.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, in this type of a article, you don't capitalize, but this." And I'm like, "Really? Like, I did everything else right for the capitalization." Okay, sorry.
Do you all want me to stop the broadcast?
Yeah.
I'm stopping it now.